For the past 3 days, On Your Marks has been hosting an imaginative essay writing routine suitable for both junior and senior schools. Hopefully, this will go on for the next 6 days or so. If you need the On Your Marks interactive workbook for imaginative compositions prior to the rest of the lessons, kindly contact us on 0724 09 44 72. 10 days, 10 lessons, and 10 essay samples. Welcome to the 4th lesson. How can you improve credibility among your characters while writing an imaginative composition? In the first lesson, we stated that while looking at credible characters, we shall choose suitable main characters, define them clearly, and then develop them wholly. This means simply that we shall let our characters make a statement in our essays. You have also learned in Paper 2 English that during characterization, we give traits to different characters basing on 4 things. 1. What the author says about them. 2. What the characters do. 3. What the characters say. And 4. What other characters say about them. In your imaginative composition, therefore, you must tell us things about your characters. But to make them more credible, let them do things that can lead us to their traits. Let them say things that can lead us to their traits. Even better, let us confirm it from other characters that you choose to have in your essay. If in the 4 ways we can come up with consistent character traits for that same character, then you have not just created a character, but a persona, all complete. Such a complete persona can credibly represent a real person in the natural, real-world context. What does On Your Marks essay writing routine for imaginative compositions say about characterization? First of all, the workbook insists that you choose suitable main characters. Let us go back to Eric's composition. In that composition, where some youth go out to protest against their government only for a tragedy to occur, it was prudent that the choice of the main character be a young person who was on the front line that day. You saw in the composition, Eric tries to capture how it all happened. He needed the eyes of a youth on the front line. But supposing Eric wanted to express how those protests against the government affected the country at large. Remember, he called everyone else couch potatoes. He would have chosen a different character. He would have chosen a parent of the deceased, or a sibling, or other countrymen. And why not the president himself? Those protests affected everyone. It therefore means, while planning your composition, understand what needs to be done. Understand your assignments. Only then will you know who can carry out the task best. Then, give the persona you choose a real name. What is in a name, by the way? By the time Eric named his character Rex, what was on his mind? He wanted to resonate with an emotive reality. A tragedy so real that it is still haunting Kenyans to date. Did he achieve it? Did he connect with us emotionally? To a larger extent, yes. He connected us to a familiar setting we discussed previously. So while preparing to write an imaginative composition, deliberately choose your characters' names wisely. You should not just call them names because they are common, because they are sweet, or because they are names of people you love. No. Those suitable names for your suitable characters must come early in the essay. Even if in the instructions of the essay you are given pronouns, at the earliest opportunity, switch to actual names. Actual names increase credibility, painting a picture that you know your characters too well. Then, On Your Marks suggests that you define your character well, but not literally. While you're choosing characters to tell your story, define them. Eric must have asked himself, what kind of youth goes out to protest against his government, rioting straight into the parliament while proceedings are on? That character must be a brave one. He must be fed up. He must be angry. So as Eric talked about the narrator and Rex from the onset, we read bravery in every line. We read hopelessness in the country. There was a feeling that everyone else, not only the youth, needed a change. Life was getting worse every other day. Let us pick out phrases that captured that the characters in the compositions were angry, resigned, but brave. So we have words like forefront, relentless demonstrators, stormed parliament, the crowd multiplied quickly, surged forward. Then we have lines like, everyone was right to fear for our lives. Though humorous, can you read helplessness in lines like, are you God? times 5? You see. And thereafter, on your marks advises that you follow through your character and ensure that their presence is felt in your essay by develop them wholly. It is very easy to do so. It is very easy to develop your characters. First, just be consistent with their traits. For instance, in Eric's composition, the youth were brave. What other traits can go with bravery? What other traits are consistent with bravery? Let's pick paragraph 2. Word had spread on social media like wild bushfire. That already indicates that the youth were strategic. Occupy Parliament was the trending hashtag, and red, green, black and white, the colors of the day. The youth were particular. Only Gen Z followed keenly. That means the youth are proactive. Our social media messages were highly coded. The youth were secretive. It would be a revolution. The youth are revolutionary. The long and short of it is that Eric tells us that brave people are strategic, particular, proactive, secretive, and revolutionary. These 5 were consistent with their actions that day. Then secondly, to develop your characters fully, apart from just being consistent, adhere to the rubrics. What does the question demand of you? Write a composition about an incident that changed lives of people completely. The rubrics here require you to be open-minded. They require you to be revolutionary. They need you to pick proactive characters who can handle that task well. Let us leave Eric's composition for a while. Today, our writer is Brenda. She's one of the writers who sent in their work early. Her composition, right from the onset, was an A. I gave her 17. She had a definite spark. A few corrections here and there, and we were at a very definite spark, that is A+. The instructions were, write a story ending, I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. Brenda's storyline was very simple. Teens go partying to mark the end of their high school, but something goes wrong. Let us read the first paragraph of Brenda's work. Whenever Brad stood up to address the class, everyone hushed. Hello, darlings. We are finishing high school this Friday, and to celebrate this milestone, I am throwing a party. You all know how I do it, so don't miss out. He was a party animal, and if he promised heaven, then 7th heaven it would be. The class cheered. Brenda introduces us to a character called Brad. Brad is respected, thus he is influential. Whenever he stands up to address the class, everyone kept quiet. But why? Brad is charming. He calls his classmates darling. Brad is generous and extravagant. He throws a party to celebrate the end of their high school. We can also say Brad is cheerful. He is a party animal, of course. The class is cheerful too when he promises the party. Brenda is a clever candidate. She needed an extravagant character to throw a party and so created Brad to that effect. Out of all these traits, that is extravagant, cheerful, generous, charming and influential, we get innuendos that Brad is also filthy rich. He is a rich kid who loves to enjoy life. We also begin to think his parents are not very strict. They have left him with a lot of freedom. Is there a possibility Brad will abuse this freedom? But that is for later. We shall see how Brenda completes Brad's personality in her essay in the next few paragraphs. Let us read the second paragraph now. But Brad was not my focus. A girl was. I turned to check her out at the back where she was chilling with her new boyfriend Jerry after breaking up with Brad. She, another party animal, was beaming with excitement too. I decided I would attend this party as well. Why not? My twin sister would need me. She was not yet over Brad, and I was worried she could easily lose it and get messy at the party. Now we shift focus to a new character, that is the narrator. The narrator is the main character and is Brad's classmate. We already get to see that he is concerned. He is concerned about the girl who broke up with Brad. That girl is his twin sister. The twin sister has already hooked up with Jerry. What can we say about that? What kind of person is the twin sister? The narrator tells us that she too, like Brad, is a party animal. Talk of birds of the same feather. The main character says her twin sister will need him. To me, that translated to being dependable or reliable. Our main character is therefore reliable. The main character is cautious as well. He does not want his twin to lose it and mess up at the party. What character did you give the girl when I asked earlier? Do you see that character is consistent with the fact that she can lose it easily and get messy at the party? Food for thought. On to the third paragraph. When we returned home on Friday evening, our folks were running late. We got ready for the party at Brad's. I suggested we waited for our parents, but Sandra insisted that we just left a note. I ended the politest of all notes with an arm twisting, "We love you, Mom and Dad," to secure a soft landing upon returning from the night out without their go-ahead. By the door, Sandra caught me unawares with a selfie that she quickly posted on our joint Instagram account with a cat hashtag, sleepover. I smelt a rat when she tagged her ex at Spoiled Brad. But that day, I was Mr. Why Not. In that paragraph, we notice that while at home, the twins are different from each other even more. The narrator, that is the boy, is more respectful of their parents. I doubt if we can say the same about the girl. We also learn that the boy is courteous, as revealed by the polite note he leaves behind for the parents. On the contrary, the girl is blunt or curt. She posts on their Instagram account that the two were out for a sleepover at Brad's. Remember the extravagant, charming boy? I hope you have noticed already that the composition at this juncture already blends in with the ending. That is the rubrics. I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. What are we waiting for? We have already created weaker personalities in the girl and Brad. They will definitely make a mistake. We are waiting for Brad and the girl to make a mistake. Then the narrator, twin brother to the girl, will swing into action and save the day, because we have already painted a personality that can save the day. Then say, I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. We have emphasized that the boy, that is the narrator, is a responsible one. The boy seemingly is not a party animal. He is going just because of her sister. He is concerned that she is fragile and needs a keeper. He recognizes that their parents will be furious if they found out that they went out to a party without their consent. He chooses to go ahead because the sister must be looked after. To attend that party and look after her sister, he has to loosen up a bit. Why not? So, let us complete the twins' different personalities up to where we've reached, up to paragraph 3. From what Brenda has already revealed to us earlier, we have a responsible boy versus an irresponsible girl. What characters are consistent with responsible boy? What characters are consistent with irresponsible girl, as we have seen in the previous paragraphs? On one hand, the boy is concerned. On the other hand, the girl is unconcerned, unbothered, indifferent. The boy is dependable while the girl is unreliable. We saw that the boy is cautious as well, the girl is carefree. Whereas the boy is respectful, the girl is disrespectful. And from the note, we see that the boy is courteous. But from the Instagram post, the girl is blunt. Then we also realize that the boy is reserved, whereas the girl is outgoing, aka party animal. I had also mentioned earlier that you should be deliberate about how you name your characters. Notice the pun when Brenda unfolds Brad's Instagram account by the name Spoiled Brad. It is consistent with Spoilt Brat. Already the name Brad and the Instagram account name Spoiled Brad direct us to the part where Brad acts like a brat. He has been acting all nice, but he has a flaw, his extravagance and his breakup with the fragile Sandra. Let's see how Brenda makes use of that flaw in the next paragraph. The music at Brad's was blaring by the poolside. Everyone was here. Among the revelers, I was the saint. All were overindulging. Guzzlers were already drunk to stupor. I learnt then that our class had chain smokers. I never accompanied Sandra to such parties. And wait, was that Jeremy, Sandra's new catch, making out with Kate inside a half-lit gazebo? If Sandra was not with Jerry, then where was she? Spoilt brat, I cursed. With that paragraph right there, all our characters are completely developed. They are ready to play the role that you will assign them. Number 1, there is the main character who is a responsible, reserved boy who looks out for his sister at a party with rowdy youth. Then number 2, there is the twin sister who is irresponsible and rowdy. Just a small window and she is out engaging in mischief. Then there's Brad, who is spoilt, rich and extravagant. The other minor characters like Jerry, Kate and the rest of the youth, we have painted them rowdy. They are overindulging. They are drinking, smoking and engaging in irresponsible sexual activities. So let's piece all these together. What would you expect of an irresponsible rowdy girl around her extravagant, rich, spoilt ex-boyfriend in a setup where there are peers overindulging in drinking, smoking, and irresponsible sexual activities? What role has the main character, that is, the responsible and reserved twin brother to the rowdy girl, to play in such a setup? This leads us to the climax of it all. The narrator cannot find Sandra. She is up to no good. If the new boyfriend is messing up with another girl, then Sandra must be in a worse situation. When I found them, Sandra was wasted. I did not know what Brad had given her. He was on the contrary sober and gleeful. The jerk was going to take advantage of my sister when I pounced on him. A clumsy scuffle ensued between us, drawing a lot of attention. While still grappling at each other's throats, we were illuminated by a powerful spotlight. When I looked up, aghast stood my parents, disappointment written all over their faces. Sandra's blunt Instagram post had reached them before they found my Katya's note. Even though it had come to this, I knew my parents would understand if I explained. I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. It has finally come to pass. Sandra and Brad have messed up, and now the narrator, who is responsible, has to do what he must do. It was difficult for the narrator to make that tough choice, to make that tough call and fight someone who was just about to take advantage of their twin sister. In a nutshell, in Brenda's essay, we saw her choose credible characters matching her story. She defined each character clearly and then developed a personality for them. When we interacted with her characters, they were personalities, not just youth with some traits. Bottom line, do not keep on telling us who your characters are. Do not keep telling us what their traits are. Let your characters introduce themselves and reveal their character traits to us on their own. Let us know more about the traits of the main characters through the other characters that you chose to have in your composition. Now shall we mark Brenda's composition? So, let's read the whole composition together. Whenever Brad stood up to address the class, everyone hushed. Hello darlings, we are finishing high school this Friday, and to celebrate this milestone, I am throwing a party. You all know how I do it, so don't miss out. He was a party animal, and if he promised heaven, then seventh heaven it would be. The class cheered. But Brad was not my focus. A girl was. I turned to check her out at the back where she was chilling with her new boyfriend Jerry after breaking up with Brad. She, another party animal, was beaming with excitement too. I decided I would attend this party as well. Why not? My twin sister would need me. She was not yet over Brad, and I was worried she would easily lose it and get messy at the party. When we returned home on Friday evening, our folks were running late. We got ready for the party at Brad's. I suggested we waited for our parents, but Sandra insisted that we just left a note. I ended the politest of all notes with an arm twisting, "We love you, Mom and Dad," to secure a soft landing upon returning from the night out without their go-ahead. By the door, Sandra caught me unawares with a selfie that she quickly posted on our joint Instagram account with a cat hashtag sleepover. I smelt a rat when she tagged her ex at Spoiled Brad, but that day I was Mr. Why Not. The music at Brad's was blaring by the poolside. Everyone was here. Among the revelers, I was the saint. All were overindulging. Guzzlers were already drunk to stupor. I learned then that our class had chain smokers. I never accompanied Sandra to such parties. And wait, was that Jeremy, Sandra's new catch, making out with Kate inside a half-lit gazebo? If Sandra was not with Jerry, then where was she? Spoilt brat, I cursed. When I found them, Sandra was wasted. I did not know what Brad had given her. He was on the contrary sober and gleeful. That Jack was going to take advantage of my sister when I pounced on him. A clumsy scuffle ensued between us, drawing a lot of attention. While still grappling at each other's throats, we were illuminated by a powerful spotlight. When I looked up, aghast stood my parents, disappointment written all over their faces. Sandra's blunt Instagram post had reached them before they found my Katya's note. Even though it had come to this, I knew my parents would understand if I explained. I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. I'll repeat this today. When it comes to merit ticks, the more the merrier. Merit ticks that come at the end of a word are not as great as those that come at the end of an expression. Merit ticks that come at the end of the sentence are not as great as those that come at the end of a paragraph. While marking for neck, we normally withhold merit ticks that are meant for words and expressions so that we can assess whether it is possible to merit the entire sentence. If it is possible to merit the entire sentence, then we put the tick at the end of the sentence. If not, we go back and put the tick on top of the word or on top of the expression. But here, during this exercise, in this setup, I just want to show you where you merited. That's why I'll put merit ticks all over. Because I'll give you that composition back, then I have to put the merit ticks where you can see them. What word, which expressions, which sentences am I meriting? This time round, I'm not telling you why I merited. Your assignment is to find out why I am meriting some of the words or expressions or sentences that I am just about to merit. When Brad stood up to address the class, everyone hushed. Tick on hushed. Hello darlings, we are finishing high school this Friday, and to celebrate this milestone, tick on milestone, I am throwing a party. Tick on throwing a party. You all know how I do it, so don't miss out. He was a party animal, and if he promised heaven, then seventh heaven it will be. Tick on party animal, tick promised heaven, tick seventh heaven, tick it would be. The class cheered, tick. But Brad was not my focus. A girl was. Tick, a girl was. I turned to check her out at the back where she was chilling with her new boyfriend Jerry after breaking up with Brad. Tick, check her out. Tick at chilling. She, another party animal, tick on another party animal, was beaming with excitement too. Tick at beaming with. I decided I would attend this party as well. Why not? Tick at what? Why not? My twin sister will need me. She was not yet over Brad, and I was worried she could easily lose it, tick on lose it, and get messy at the party. Get messy, tick. When we returned home on Friday evening, our folks were running late, tick at running late, tick at our folks. We got ready for the party at Brad's, tick at Brad's. I suggested we waited for our parents, but Sandra insisted that we just left a note. And tick, left a note. I ended the politest of all notes, tick, politest of all notes, with an I'm twisting, tick, I'm twisting, we love you, mom and dad. To secure a soft landing, tick at secure a soft landing upon returning from the night out without their go-ahead. Tick at night out, tick at go-ahead. By the door, Sandra caught me unawares with a selfie that she quickly posted on our joint Instagram with a cat hashtag sleepover. Tick, caught me unawares, tick, selfie, tick, cat hashtag, and then tick, sleepover, the hashtag itself. I smelt a rat, tick, when she tagged her ex at spoiled Brad, tick at tagged. But that day, I was Mr. Why Not, tick at Mr. Why Not. The music at Brad's was blaring by the poolside. We already merited Brad's before. Everyone was here. Tick at that exaggeration. Among the revelers, tick revelers, I was the saint. Tick saint. All were overindulging. Tick overindulging. Guzzlers were already drunk to stupor. Tick guzzlers, tick drunk to stupor. I learnt then that our class had chain smokers. Tick chain smokers. I never accompanied Sandra to such parties. And wait, was that Jeremy, Sandra's new catch, making out with Kate inside a half-lit gazebo? Tick, new catch, tick, making out, tick, half-lit gazebo. If Sandra was not with Jerry, then where was she? Tick at the end of that sentence. Spoilt brat, I cursed. Tick at spoilt brat. When I found them, Sandra was all wasted. Tick at wasted. I did not know what Brad had given her. He was, on the contrary, sober and gleeful. Tick at gleeful. The Jack was going to take advantage of my sister. Tick at Jack. Tick, take advantage of. When I pounced on him. Tick, pounced. I A clumsy scuffle ensued between us, drawing a lot of attention. Tick, clumsy scuffle. Tick, ensued. Tick, drawing a lot of attention. While still grappling at each other's throats, we were illuminated by a powerful spotlight. Tick, at grappling at each other's throats. Tick, illuminated. Tick, spotlight. Powerful spotlight. When I looked up, aghast stood my parents, disappointment written all over their faces. Tick at the end of that sentence. Sandra's blunt Instagram post had reached them before they found my Katya's note. Tick at blunt Instagram post. Tick at Katya's note. Tick at reached them. Even though it had come to this, I knew my parents would understand if I explained. Tick at the end of that sentence. I had done the right thing to handle the situation the way that I did. Hello darlings, tomorrow we shall learn about the storyline of your essay. As usual, we have lined up a very captivating A+ composition. We shall help you discover how to get there. If you're stuck, you all know how we do it, so don't miss out. Right there, I sound like Brad, don't you think so? As charming as Brad, I would make that promise bigger and reward good deeds. If you want a copy of our workbook, 0724094472 is the number to call. There are numerous sample essays in there, not for you to copy, but to build yours around. There are paragraphs walking the talk bit by bit, inspiring you to grow. Grab a copy of Hone Your Marks and start studying English Paper 3 the honest way.